Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to Prime on my Media Prime. Every Friday, as our tradition demands, we are going to be talking on what it takes to be a success, especially financially. We all dream to be millionaires, billionaires. We all dream to be success stories amongst our peers, our communities, our families, and we have decided to give you guys the opportunity to learn what it takes to be a success, not only a success in the family, but a success worldwide. We are this day going to be looking at what it takes to build human capital for a successful life with our regular panelists who already are in the house. Mr. Teke Samuel has been away. He has been contributing from out of the country for at least 3 editions. He's in the house with us right now. Mr. Teke Samuel is the CEO of Tex Global. Good evening. We are glad to have you.
Good evening, Mr. Leonard, and I'm happy to be here too. I missed this place for a while.
You came back with just yourself, or you brought us goodies also?
I think I brought some stuff, yeah.
Ask me what he brought for me. We also are in the company of Mr. Neba Paul. He is an ambassador of the Audacity of Success. Good evening, Mr. Neba. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo, and good evening to our televiewers. It's going to be a wonderful evening today. I'm certain about that.
Ambassador?
Sir?
Yes, you are representing which country?
Well, I'm representing. I am representing the country of success, which I believe so much in, which is buried in every human being. But we have been living without looking deep within to bring up that success, and we are looking forward to have that success attacked on the 10th of April through the event Audacity of Success. So that's the country I'm representing.
Okay, we are also in the company of Mr. Buji Liansin. He is the marketing director for Tex Global. Mr. Buji, good evening. Welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Thank you. It's nice being here again. Good evening to our televiewers. We are back
to tell people how to be success stories.
In fact, we are talking about success today, and everybody deserves success. That's why we are here.
Are you struggling to make it big in society? You want to be like Mr. Teke, you want to be like Miss L and a host of others. Please just follow every discussion that is going to unfold from our studios out here in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital, Fengudrombange, Koto, precisely. And we are also using this opportunity to welcome Miss Lo Narika. She is fondly called Miss L. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to everybody watching us right now. I'm happy to be here as usual.
You've been away?
For just 1 week. That was last week.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Teke Samuel. Yes, I'll start by asking you what it means by building human capital. What is human capital?
All right. I try to make my things so simple and get them to the ground level. It simply means building people or helping human beings to do the job that you are supposed to do for yourself, and helping them grow themselves to an extent where they become independent to do their own things by themselves. It simply means investing your life, what you know, and your resources in people so they can in turn do that for others.
Are you engaging in this because of the observation that it is lacking in our communities, and also helping to retard our move towards these great visions, great objectives that we've set for ourselves?
As a matter of fact, that's one of my major primary objectives for getting into entrepreneurship business. When I see people with great talents, but a little information is lacking that can push them to their destiny, I feel terrible, and I discover the only thing to do is to invest in these people. And I'm getting into this because I know it's the only way forward for a successful nation and for successful people.
Okay, Miss L, we are talking about building human capital. What does it take to build human capital?
Deciding to build human capital is more about deciding to build on personal skills, because human capital is very intangible, but it is very pivotal when it concerns increasing productivity in all aspects of life. So it's more of those things that we cannot see. We're looking at involving in training, involving in skill development, and other little things that people don't really consider as very important when it concerns having or living a successful life. We're looking at simple things like time management, simple things like normal skills, talents that you are born with. So to be able to build on human capital, you first of all start by understanding that you need it, because a lot of us just get into a lot of things without looking at means in which you can get more information about what is needed on what we want to do. So going to what Mr. Teke is saying, talking about the definition he gave in human capital, you investing in people. So I want to bring it to me as a person, investing in myself. So there are people who are into the business of investing in people, but these people who are invested in have to understand that they themselves need that investment. So they have to take a conscious decision to accept the investment that others are giving. Because say, for instance, that we have other programs, we have programs that are coming up. Now, this is a plan to be able to invest in people. But if you have a plan to invest in people and these same people don't have an understanding that they need this investment that is important for them to be able to get to their place of success, then it will be difficult for us to be able to manage all. So it's a two-way something. People investing in others and some people accepting to be invested in. It's a two-way something.
Yes, has this been lacking when we look at our institutions today? Our institutions are supposed to do this, that is building human capital. This is also a concept that many people are discovering for the first time, that training is building human capital. In the past, many persons have had the impression that going to school is just learning a subject and just passing exams, and not necessarily taking the time to think that when I study biology, I need to build skills that will permit me to be able to serve in this domain.
Of course, if you look at human capital development, let's go back to it. It means to that's the greatest investment, be it in a nation or in an organization or in your own personal business or as an individual. Because the greatest investment that you can make as a human being is an investment in yourself. And investing in yourself is far beyond good looks, good dresses, you have a good wristwatch. It's about what is in your mind. So it goes, when we talk about human capital, things like leadership will fall under it, entrepreneurship, how financial management, all of those things are human capital. And if you have to have all the beautiful structures, beautiful institutions, and the human capital is not developed, the people working there have to be very important. And you see here that we have organizations that maybe only the CEO is developing. You have homes that maybe, let me just get back to a family. Like if you have, if you are husband and wife, if you have a wife or a husband that is always going for personal development, you realize that very soon they are, you actually see a difference between them, because one is actually advanced and the other is not. That's what happens in society when you are not moving ahead, when you're not developing as times are going on, especially now in the 21st century, that change is happening at warp speed. So it is really important that as individuals, as organizations, as even countries, we need to develop ourselves.
Okay, building skills. You have passed through SHEP Academy?
Not quite.
But at least what you do now is because you took the conscious decision that you want to get to where you are, and it took that that determination to wanting to build your skills so that you can serve. That is what persons don't know, that if you don't build your skills, even if you are given opportunities, you won't be able to deliver.
That's quite true. You know, let me take the example of a footballer. If you are a talented footballer and you don't practice, and they put you on the pitch, you will not play. That's the same like every human being. We are buried, we are created with a seed within us. And if we must grow that seed, we must take intentional steps to make sure that we water that seed, we nurture it, I mean, we weed it and make sure that it grows in the direction that we want it to grow. But in our society, that's not actually always the case, because we are too concerned about our outlooks. I mean, we feed our bodies by looking good. We eat food so that our skin, to nourish our skin, but we ignore the most important part of ourselves, which is our mind. And believe me, if you look around here, everything you see here came from the human mind. But it is unfortunate that society has made it in a way that we ignore that part of us, which is that part that links us with God, because the person who created us is a creative somebody, and he lives in us, and we as human beings are supposed to create. But somehow, somewhere, we have tend just to consume. We live in a consumption economy. We don't think to create. An economy that the citizens only consume, it can never emerge. So capital development goes down to push you as an individual to look within, to see what you were bestowed with from creation, to bring it to limelight, to bring it and provide value to people. And of course, when you provide value, what do you get in return? Money. That's what we're looking at here. So if you are watching us out there, mind you that you are having something that is in you, unique, that nobody else has in the world, and you have to bring that out. And for you to bring that out, you have to take intentional steps to bring that out. You have to ask yourself intentional questions, like, why was I created? I mean, the why in life is very important. If you don't answer the why in life as an individual, it'll be very, very difficult for you to grow that seed, that unique seed that was planted in you when you were created. And when you ask that why, you start seeing clarity. You start seeking, you start seeing a particular direction to follow. And when you see that direction to follow, what do? You start looking ahead to see those who have come through that path. And you start asking yourself, how did they go through? What can I learn from them so that I'll go that path as well?
Yeah, Mr. Teke, we are talking about building human capital. It's let's put it simple at the simplest level. Basically, are we talking about identifying what we are born to do, and then we try to nurture it from the raw state to a refined state so that we can better serve, and then serve from a valuable perspective. If I may want to extrapolate, taking a raw timber from the forest, and then you have to refine it to make it a furniture which has more value, and then the sellability is also increased.
So let me take from this angle. You're a business person. You want to get into business. You need capital to start up your business. Now, when you get the capital, you start up your business. The first thing for every businessman is they want this business to grow. The first thing is you've discovered a business. Number two, you search for the capital. Then you start working with your business to ensure that the business grows. Now, for this business to grow, the only intention that you want the business to grow is that your capital should increase. So building human capital now is you discover a talent. You know that this person has the ability to do this. How do we develop it? How do we make it grow? There are certain things you have to put in place. This person needs another information. This person needs a different exposure. This person needs a different circle of people. This person needs a whole lot. Just the way a business person that wants to grow his capital will have to do extra sacrifices for his business. He has to go to talk to more clients. He has to do extra sacrifices to meet more people and all of that for the business to grow so that he can increase his capital. That's the same thing we have to do when it has to do with building human capital. So the problem is we were not taught this. That's why I made a statement was I said the average Cameroonian stop learning the very moment they graduate from the university. As soon as they leave school, they wear the garment and all of those. When they are done and they celebrate dusted and all of that, that's the end. They stop learning. And the moment you stop learning, you start dying. That is why the highest frustrated people we have in Cameroon are graduates who refuse to learn after they left school. So because they got the capital to start their business with when they left school, what was given to them, that information is capital. Now they were expected to grow it. If they could not grow it themselves, they were expected to meet a mentor, someone who has passed through that before and learn what this person has learned in the field. But they refused, and then they buried their capital, just like the man, the parable Jesus gave among the 3 servant guys. He said he gave one 5, he gave one 2, and gave this one 1. This guy took his own 1 that had a little, went and buried it. When the master came back, the master said, why did you bury it? You should have even given it to the bank so I can make profit. He said, you wicked and unfaithful servant. Took the little from him and then gave it to someone that has more. That is why the statement that the rich gets richer and the poor gets poorer is true. Because the moment you stop developing yourself, the moment you stop building yourself, the moment you stop turning your gifts from raw materials to finished products, that's the day you start getting into frustration. So everyone knows that we all have capital that we're born with. We have a deposit in us that every one of us was born with. We have to figure out, how do I grow my giftings to enable me become a change in my world? If you cannot do it by yourself, then you have to look for someone who will help you develop or build that gifting in you. Nobody comes to the world empty. Every one of us have something, but that thing has to be built. Somebody needs to touch it to help it grow. So until you accept that, then it becomes impossible for us to grow. So in all, what we're saying is to go to get into this level where we're going to see people who can make a change in their world. We have to step into that place of transformation through getting information, not just the information we get in school. School is a startup. That's how I always put it. I have never discouraged schooling, education. To go to school is just a startup. The moment you leave school, that is when real learning begins. Because that is where the world, even your government, will look upon you that, hey, we have given you all the information, go there and make the difference. But we don't know, in the average Cameroonian, the average African believes that I go to school to get a job. But it's supposed to be the other way around. I go to school to create jobs. And if you have that in mind, you begin to build your human capital even while in school.
Okay. Miss L, it appears this concept, when we talk of building human capital, is for a select few. For those who have gone to school, for some people who do entrepreneurship. Is that where it ends?
No, human capital is needed in all spheres of life. All walks of life. No matter what you're involved in, no matter what you're doing, you need to develop yourself. The nurse needs to develop herself. The truck pusher has to know how to handle the tires of the truck the day the truck gets bad. Everybody needs some sort of development in one way or the other. But the thing is that it's rather unfortunate that most Cameroonians feel that it's some particular sort of persons. They feel like business people, let me say business people. Like even this program that is coming up, some people feel that it's just for maybe entrepreneurs or businessmen, but everybody needs some sort of human capital. Now, I like to look at talents and skills in two different ways. Okay. Now, when we look at talents, everybody has a talent that God gave us. Like everybody was sent to this earth or to this world with something that God has given. I think if we go back to Genesis, we get that. The Bible talks about names that were given to people, and I consider names as what distinguishes you from another person, those talents that God has given you. Now, you have to convert your talent to skills. Talents don't give money. Until when you can transform your talent to become a skill. When we're talking about a skill, we're talking about an activity that you can be able to put into place and make profit from it while impacting others. That's an activity. So when God gives you a talent, multiplying it is converting that talent to a skill. Now, this process of converting your talent to a skill is where human capital takes place. You need a lot of information. You need to know a lot more that can help you divert, move from where you are. It's like how some children grow up and you just discover that, okay, it's common with the whites. When they have their kids, they discover that their kids are skillful, that they know how to do some little things. Like maybe the child is always playing with football and all the like. The child maybe knows how to paint. It's a talent. That is raw. It's just a raw something that is still with you. Now, for you to be able to move from that level to where it can be able to put food on your table, you need a lot of information on how you can convey that. So if you have any particular talent that you are working on now that is not putting food on your table, it's just because you've not yet had a transition from having just an ordinary talent to developing it to a skill. The Bible even talks about skillful, that is skillful man, that you should look at a skillful man. A skillful man can never be broke because in one way or the other, you will always have an activity that will be solving a problem and indirectly putting money in your pocket. So everybody needs some sort of human capital, but this is just it. Just identify where you're moving to. And when you know where you are and where you're moving to, then you will know the type of information to expose yourself to. But know that everybody needs development. It's like what people call personal development. Personal development is what we are talking about. You developing yourself in such a way that you can be able to get access to more openings or more opportunities. Yes.
We're talking about how to build human capital. Let's take a practical case here. You see, it is not limited to entrepreneurs or students. Let's take the case of a carpenter who has been doing carpentry for 15 years around Bunaberry. We take the case of a buyer and seller who trades in palm oil, say in Melon, who is watching the program. We take the case of someone who has been doing fish or pig rearing for 10 years in Babaju, who is watching the program. And we are talking about building human capital. How should they do that?
Let me take the case of a mechanic.
Okay.
Let's say from 1970s, 1960s, the kind of cars we had then are not the kind of cars we have now.
Okay.
So let's say you're a mechanic in the 70s and the 80s, and you have cars like Peugeot 405 and Renault 12 and all of that. And you were a professional at that time. You were making a lot of money. Now, as the years begin to go by and things are changing, if you don't also start learning on how to repair the recent cars, like the Hyundai, like the recent Mercedes, like the Lexus, a time will come where you will run out of market and you will not have money again. Not because there is no job, not because you don't know your job, not because you don't know what you're doing, but because the world has revolved, technology has taken place, but you have refused to develop your capital. You've refused to develop your skills yourself. So you got to this level now, you cannot see the Renault 12, but now you are seeing Lexus, you are seeing Hyundai and other cars. And they ask you, but you're a professional, what happens? These cars have come up, automatic transmission cars have come up, you cannot repair them. If they give the Renault car, you can repair, but there's no Renault car to repair now. So what would this person do? You have to start learning how to repair the automatic transmission cars. You learn how to repair the Lexus and the Mercedes and all of that. If you do that, you will be matching up technology with innovation, and you have built human capital, and you will still remain in the market and relevant for life. So if you don't do that, then you remain broke. So what should you do? As a mechanic, this is what you should do. As a carpenter, before now, we have ceilings, those big board ceilings that put cots and then put in their houses. If you stay in all those old houses, you see that they'll just put one big board as a ceiling, then they use nail and put it. But now things are changing. We have PVCs, we have POPs and all of that. If you still want to be relevant in business, you have to learn how to use these other things, how to work with them, how to put them in people's houses. Because I would not want to build a house now and then carry those big board ceilings to put in my house. I want to use the PVC, I want to use the POP. So do you know how to use it? If not, then you have to learn to build your human capital. You have to learn to develop your human capital by learning how to use this new technology. That's the only way you can remain relevant. So closing your eyes to recent information or current information in the society and thinking that changes is meant only for the youth or for the successful, you are simply killing yourself and sending yourself backward.
But where did you go for the construction, for the building of these caves? I'm talking about human capital. So you don't sleep in your bed
Of course.
And God start.
That is why we have. That's why we have programs like this. I have someone that called me from Yaoundé, paid for that success. He's a chainsaw operator, and when he said, when we're doing money mastery skill, he wanted to attend, but he couldn't because he was occupied. So this time around, he called and made payment. He said he's a chainsaw operator. And I told him there are a lot of things you can learn as a chainsaw operator. That's why we are bringing people who have made a great success in their career. Someone like Professor Molua, I'm sure he wasn't born as a professor. He wasn't born as a doctor. Okay, he was given birth to and went through school like every one of us, keep improving, keep learning until he attained the level he has attained right now. So as a chainsaw operator, there are certain skills you have to learn. Okay, this is it. Chainsaw operator. How do you improve yourself? Now, someone will say, is there any way to do chainsaw operating in a modern way? Of course, there are several things you can do. If you are a professional in operating chainsaw, now most chainsaw operators have never thought that they can build a school to teach people how to operate the chainsaw. They never thought about it. So you can gather people in the villages who wants to learn what you are doing and develop a school, build a school in the village, gather boys and tell them, I'm going to teach you how to operate chainsaw in a modern way. After attending a meeting like Audacity of Success, we're going to give you these guidelines on what to do. I spoke to a lady that said she was into fashion, and I said, you can run a school. Everybody's into fashion, you just sew clothes and all of that, but you can run a school. And she said, how? I said, if you don't run a school, you can become an author. You can be a book writer. And she was like, how do I do that? I said, every part of a dress have names. They have materials, they have things, all of those things. Some tailors, let me tell tailors, some tailors don't know those names. So what can you do? Improve on yourself. Get all of those names, write a handout. You can put, if it's a shirt, you can put the shirt, put the names, put them there, and then put them. Then you start writing. When you put how to build a shirt, you now get all the various parts, cut them, and then put them in picture form. State them there, then start writing. For you to make a shirt, you have to take this part, put them together. When you want to sew, this is how you sit on your machine, analyze all of this and form a book. Then just go ahead and start doing publicity, that you have manual on how to be your own self-made tailor. Move around and start selling those things. People who want to sew dress for themselves, they can buy it. You move from that to a level where you can start supplying sewing machines. You just have to go to someone that is a sewing machine seller, make arrangement with them. I will bring people who will buy your machines, then you give me commission from that. You are into business.
Okay. Matthias Lanes says he has supplies of Oku white honey. He says it's 7,500 francs a liter. Okay. And he's sending his contact. Mr. Matthias, I think that Mr. Teke can help sell your products very well. So I would advise you take his contacts on the screens, and you discuss with him on what it takes to better sell your Oku white honey. Mr. Buji, now we're talking about how to build this, but it's also it starts with taking that firm decision that I want to upgrade, because it's all about upgrading what we know.
Exactly. When we talk about audacity of success, there is actually a word that comes after. We say dare to succeed, which means that you have to be intentional that you want to succeed. And what does it mean to dare? Daring means something you are trying. You want to go out of the ordinary. You want to venture. And if you don't take a conscious decision that this is what you must do, I've asked a lot of young persons around me, how much is your personal development budget? They say, what is personal development? So, but they have a budget for nearly everything except the personal development budget. I read a book, Disrupt Yourself or Be Disrupted by Nick Yvette. And that actually, it sparked something in me. I have shared it to a lot of people as well. If you do not change now, then you are going to be discarded. You're going to be useless. So imagine yourself as a human being who is useless. Because things are changing. The ordinary ways of life are definitely evolving. I look at a situation, I think I was discussing it with Mr. Neighbor one time, where where a job is advertised on Facebook. You see somebody who is qualified for that job, goes and write, I am interested in the job. Why you already have the contacts are there. You hear, employ me. Those are things that stem from lack of personal development, lack of human capital development. Because you might have the skills, you might have the certificates, you might be talented, but you need something extra. How do you go about this? And that is what you have: institutions, you have people, you have coaches, you have mentors who can actually develop you to be able to enjoy actually what you truly deserve. I look at life as something that everybody deserves the best out of life, but not everybody is making a conscious effort to move towards that direction. So if you're watching us, I will ask you this question: how much is your personal development budget? Be you a farmer, be you a teacher, be you an accountant, all these things. Don't think that by the time you graduated and everything was a job. That's why at your job site, you're wondering, this person is being promoted. Is this one using juju? What is he using? But the question is, at your own level, are you prepared? There are people that are the sick office. They want to be somewhere, but the question is, if they give you what you are asking for, will you be able? If you can't answer this question with a yes, then you need personal development. You need to build human capital. And that is why us at Tex Global, for instance, we deal with people, farmers. You have people who have never actually gone to school. And one of our promise to our investors is personal development, so that you can be able to interact with people in society. After having money, how do you interact with others? Because if you do not develop yourself, maybe you start getting arrogant, you start getting, in fact, you do the things that you're not supposed to do because you lack what it takes to actually enjoy and be in the society, interact in the society, because you have various people to interact with every day. So you need to know what a teacher would, how a teacher would want to be addressed. You can have a shop, a local shop in the market. You should know how to talk to people from various backgrounds, from various cultural backgrounds, be it the professional levels. That one will help. But you can only get this thing by actually reading, studying. How do you, if you want to do the dress of a teacher, how will you do it if you're a tailor?
Okay, Mr. Mayor Benjamin, writing from the United Arab Emirates, says, good evening, Mr. Liu and everyone on the table. Very interesting, useful topic. I would like to be one of the panelists on the next program. Can you just write? You have to write to me, Just write to me so that I will discuss with Mr. Teke if you accept that you join their team. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm back. What an educative program. Keep it up. Thank you very much. But now, we are looking at the environment in which we find ourselves. Say somebody's in Senegal, in Ghana, in Cameroon. Should your environment serve as an extra spur to wanting to build your skills and add to your human capital to be able to be indispensable? Why not?
You know, we can't actually decide where we are born. We can't decide where we school. Most of those decisions are taken on our behalf by our guardians, by our parents. There's one thing that Pastor Chris usually says: when you become an adult, you take responsibility for your future. No matter where you are, once you become an adult, you take responsibility for your tomorrow. And that's where human capital development comes to play. Because when, as I earlier said, when you ask the question of why was I born? Why am I here? How is my tomorrow going to look like? Yes, you begin to seek what will make you to have that tomorrow that you seek, you want to have. So your environment doesn't matter. You now decide to create that environment that will permit you to grow. Because if you look like somebody like me, my background is accounting from one university. I've worked in the banking sector. But now, because I so much, I'm obsessed, let me put it that way, about human capital development, I will not say that, okay, since my background is this and I've been in the banking world, I shouldn't communicate because that's where I've ever been. No. I tell myself, okay, this is the situation, this is where I find myself. What do I need? I need communication skills. I need to be able to communicate. How do I get these skills? I start doing what? I start reading, I start interacting with people, I start looking at those who are communicating, and looking at Mr. Liu. How does he handle the camera? How does he handle the mic? How does he speak? How can I speak like him? Those are the questions I start asking. It doesn't matter where I come from. It doesn't matter where I stay. The question is, where am I going? What do I need to go where I want to go? Those are the questions I ask myself. And when I ask myself those questions, I start seeking whatever thing I need, whatever material I need that will help me to advance to where I intend to go. And those materials are so much available nowadays. I mean, in the past it wasn't like that, but today we have the internet. But believe me, it's somehow sad that most people, what they know about the internet is only Facebook and WhatsApp. It's bad, it's sad, but the internet is what the Frenchman call a full tube of knowledge. But most young people, most people don't know how to use it to get knowledge. As we're talking about human capital development, you can't talk about human capital development without talking about the individual's intentional decision to actually go out of the box. because all of us have access to internet. But what we get out of it now determines is decided by what we decide to get from it. But generally, as we're speaking, if you ask somebody to switch onto the internet, what they go to is WhatsApp and Facebook, and some of them, they don't even know how to use it to grow their personal their personal capital, of which there's a lot of knowledge. People like Teke Samuel, Javi Joybert, Jason Golob, they are pouring out a lot of knowledge out there on Facebook, on their WhatsApp status. But the truth is that we will not follow such people. We follow people that will entice us with things that we don't need, like individuals. But if you are intentional about where you want to go, you will seek those people who are doing things that will push you to go where you want to go. So your environment has little or nothing to do with who you are, because you actually create your environment at the end of the day.
Yeah, Mr.
I want to say this. Your environment has a lot to do with who you are, but has little to do with who you become. Because the environment has a way of shaping us. I was talking with Professor Mola yesterday, and then we started saying something, and he said the problem with Cameroon is a lot of the average Cameroonian has not seen a rich man before.
That's true.
That is why it becomes difficult for them to take a challenge for growth. But in a neighboring place like Nigeria, it is easier to see someone who was nothing and then grew up and make a lot of wealth genuinely. So everybody can pick up a challenge. If he can do it, I saw him as a mechanic, and today he's driving luxurious cars and has companies. It means I can also do it. But in Cameroon, it is difficult. The people I knew as millionaires and billionaires in this country where I was growing, they are still millionaires and billionaires today.
That's true.
Nobody has added. You then have to challenge yourself. If Nigeria can be like this, if America can be like, that's how I grew up. That's what caused the change in my life. If America can be like this, what is wrong with Cameroon? If China can be like this, what is wrong with Cameroon? Why would I be doing a business that is created or started by a Chinese man and run it with my entire life and push all the money in a Chinese company that will be taken back to China? Then Cameroon is still broke. Then something has to be done. So this Chinese man or this American that started this business, how many heads do they have? So I went on a study for 6 months. I did not do anything in my life. I went into studies on the secrets of network marketing. Because while I was growing, I never saw a network marketing company that was started by an African. The one I tried once by a Nigerian did not last 3 months. And so I got mad. And even these ones who push and promote, at the end of the day, they'll still close down, and the Africans who push the business start suffering from it. I took 6 months of my life, a huge sacrifice, to understand how this business runs. And I made a decision that I am going to run a network marketing company in this country and in this continent that will stand the test of time. Why? If I was still in Cameroon, it would have almost been impossible for me to be exposed to that information. And so I would have been probably comfortable with probably getting a job or doing the little things I was doing. But because I changed my environment, somehow I changed my circle of friends, then the grace of God helped me to be exposed to certain things and now discover a new knowledge. And that was what caused the transformation. I would have remained like that, but my environment played something that changed who I have become. So you cannot change the environment where you were born, but you can make a decision to change who you become. Now, it is very difficult for you to change who you become in the same environment where you were born if you don't have a very strong will. Because there's this peer pressure that people around you can cause you to forget your dreams. Professor Mola told me that he has written newspapers and articles when he just came back from Germany, but nobody among his peers supported him, and that's how the dream died. That's why the first day he saw me, he made a decision that he was going to support everything I do, because he could see what he started doing when he came back from Germany, and nobody supported him.
I remember the entrepreneur,
Yes.
entrepreneur newspaper.
Okay, yes. So he said nobody supported him. That's an environment. But imagine if it was in place like Nigeria, for example, where people are proactive. They would have supported him. You'd have had sponsors, someone who can tell you, come on, keep going, you'll make it. And today, who knows what would have become of him? Probably he wouldn't just be a professor in the University of Boya. He would have been something else. So we have to watch. The people have to watch the environment in which they are. The Cameroonian environment has a whole lot to learn, especially when it has to do with youth and young entrepreneurs. We have a lot to learn. Do we need to change our environment? But thank God for this thing called internet. It can put you in any environment you want to find yourself. You can live in America, operate the American system in Cameroon through your phone. You can operate the China system in Cameroon through your phone. All we have to do, all we are telling our youths is that you should make good use of, and I call it the foolishness of the whites. This is the only foolishness I've seen that the white man made, by bringing the internet to the knowledge of everybody. Because now I can access the White House and know how they operate from the internet. So, and all of us can do that. So we can change ourselves without paying much recognition to the environment in which we were born. We can transfer ourselves to any environment we want to, change our lives to whatever level we want to, if only we make that conscious decision. The word is intentional. That intentional decision to create a change and build our human capital.
Okay. We want to build a human capital. It takes building our skills so that we can change our world. There is a phenomenon, I don't know who is going to talk about this. Everybody wants to get rich, but very fast. And we have many, we've talked about network marketing. Yes, but almost everybody wants to get rich so fast. This organization comes up with 2 million, and in the next...
one just closed recently.
Okay. In the next 1 week, you start making 100,000, and many persons are going into it. Is that not also what is lacking in Africans and Cameroonians to want to diligently become rich by empowering themselves, building their skills, and knowing how to create wealth?
Okay, let me...
Okay, ladies first.
Okay.
You definitely say something, but let everybody say something on that, yeah.
Okay. Talking about the path to success and people wanting to get there so fast. It's not wrong to desire to want to get there fast. My point is always how. What is your concept? First is the reason. Why do you want to get there fast? You should have a reason first. Why do you want to get there this fast? And if you call 10 youths now and ask them, okay, why do you want to make money fast? The reasons you hear from them will scare you. Some is just because they want to meet up and maybe run in flashy cars and all that. So I'm always concerned first about why do you want to get there fast. The second thing is how. That's my point of focus. Now I want to talk based on people in my age range. The way when I talk with my peers. Now we're talking about them wanting to make a lot of money very fast. Now a lot of people are concerned about what they want to get, but nobody's concerned about how they want to get what they want to get. And it comes down to what we are talking about. See, building yourself in terms of human capital exposes you to opportunities, and opportunities is what give you access to activities that can help you create wealth. The more informed you get, the more information you have, it's going to help you build yourself. And because of the thoughts you'll be having in your mind, you will expose you to so many opportunities, and you're going to get there. But now most of us want to leverage on things that are not tangible. Like like what you said about people you say want to invest 10,000. I saw something like that. Somebody sent me a business plan. I was like, you have to do all to make money. I got confused. I just told her that it's okay. I really don't want to understand what you're doing. You cannot be giving that type of money when I cannot even see the money in the company, not in you, in the company. At least the company should have the money before we are looking at you who is working in the company. So actually, when it has to do with people wanting to get to a point where they can have access to money fast, it becomes a mistake when you don't know how you want to get there. That's the mistake. That's just my focus. When it concerns people of my age, I think the others can have something to say. But when it concerns most youths that I've seen of my age, everybody wants to make money. I want to have money in 5 years' time. How? It's missing. How do you want to make that money? It's never part of the picture. And even when they start telling you how they want to make the money, you see so much of that they want to leverage on something that somebody has planted, that it's not tangible. Whenever you want to leverage on what somebody has planted that can be able to put food in your pocket, go back and check what the person is doing. I got this from somebody. He joined Tex Global recently, one of my friends, and so when he was talking, I don't want to call other companies here. He was one of part of one of the network marketing companies we have in the country that is foreign per se, and then he said that this is the mistake they made. He used a funny example. He said, "We have problems in Cameroon. We work for these people. We are making money, but they are making more. We still give them back the money. Then we have problems in our country. In fact, everybody is fooling themselves around them. What happens in our country? We go and borrow. Our government borrows money from China and call Chinese people to come and fix the roads in our country, and we're giving them back the money. So at the end of the day, we are fooling ourselves, trying to make money the wrong way because we are not building on the right foundation. So it's more about how. How do you want to get there? It's okay. There's a statement Mr. Teke used to use. I don't want to use that statement because I used to misplace it about success can be not hesitated or rushed. I used to miss the statement a little.
You can accelerate your way to success because you cannot rush your
Okay, you can accelerate, but you cannot rush. Okay, and that's what people are doing. People are trying to rush, and when you're rushing, when you're in a haste, you can easily miss your step because you're not very focused, not very conscious of what you're putting your steps.
Yeah, this issue we are talking about the audacity of success. That is, you can succeed where you are rushing to be made rich. You can make yourself and your society rich.
Yes.
I made a statement a few days ago on my social media handle that the faster you want to become rich, the poorer you will become. Why did I say so? Because recently my specialty has been financial coaching, financial empowerment. So I've seen people come up to me, I want to do this. I say, I've seen a platform, you have to do this and you will get this. Invest and within 24 hours, you're going to have double of your money. Invest within a month, you're going to have double of your money. So I look at it, at times I will say, okay, before I need to understand something, I also have to try it myself. So there are times I say, okay, hold on, let me study that. Maybe they say if it's $10, if it's $50, I can just put $50 and see how it reacts. So I realize sometimes they'll tell you that, okay, you add money again and before you withdraw. Maybe they're requesting you to add another one before you withdraw. Now, if you are not financially intelligent, which means you have not developed yourself to that level, because the way these Ponzi schemes and scams are packaged, I'm telling you, it's not fun. They are very tempting. It's not easy to resist them if you are not developed. If you don't build your capacity to resist it. And again, these things are designed by people who don't care about us. Like for instance, when I look at Mr. Teke, what he does, I see somebody who has the passion to help Cameroonians, the passion to help Africans, which means that the pain, and that's why when these things happen, when he hears that this has happened to Cameroonians' money, he feels pain. It's like somebody just took away his money. He feels very bad about it. So when you look at this, those things are designed by people who don't care about us. Their objective is to make money. By the way, they are using this very internet. You just package something and you send out and people share amongst themselves, and that's how it starts and it's going on. At the end of the day, it leaves with a lot of money. It drains our economy. Not only that, leaving people with pain and illnesses. So which means that at the end of the day, the people who wanted to become rich, they end up being poorer and definitely indebted. Some even lost their loved ones, and you have a lot of other things.
How many people falling victims to all of this not be also because they failed to build their human capital, to train themselves, to build their skills?
You are very correct, Mr. Leo. You know, when it comes to money, that's another story. You know, money has so many functions, but the only one we know is spending. And it's some kind of, it's rooted from our childhood, where we grew up poor, as Mr. Teke rightly said. We grew up not seeing rich people around. I mean, when I think about my village and the man I admired that was rich back then, it's funny. You know, I laugh a lot. It's terrible. We grew up not knowing money. Our parents used to give us the maximum money we will have is 25 francs for offerings. And usually we don't even put other money in the offering basket. Go reach there, we'll buy Alaska for 10 francs. We have in mind that we are going to put 15 francs there, but we go in the church somehow, we put 10 francs and give 5 francs that we're going to use later. And that's what we knew, that's how we grew, and that's the only thing we know about money. So investing is far-fetched from us. It's something that we should learn, but since we are not intentional about our lives, we become victims of so many schemes. That's why we are emphasizing on Cameroonians, on Africans, to grow themselves, to seek awareness. The Bible even says it so clear. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. You know, people move from one scheme to another. You know, they fail here, they don't learn their lesson, they go to another, they fail, they don't learn their lesson, they keep moving. Why? Because they ignore that concept of sitting back, looking and asking the important questions, as she rightly said. How am I? What is actually happening behind the scene? What is happening behind the scene? So much so that I will have this money that these people are promising me. If you're not able to take yourself out of the noise, I call it noise because it's so loud out there. I mean, so many schemes are coming up on a daily basis. You don't take yourself out, you'll not be able to understand. Actually, I took an intentional decision not to invest in anything foreign. I've done that a couple of times. Some have succeeded, some have failed. But I told myself, I'll not do this again, because I looked at our economy and I saw that we have exported our trust in home products. If I set up a business here today and a foreigner sets up the same business beside me, even it's not this, even my own products are having better quality, mind you, Cameroonians will consume from that foreigner. That's insanity to me. We have to bring back that trust. As Cameroonians, we trust ourselves, we establish trust amongst ourselves, we establish trust in our products, and make sure that our economy booms by we buying from us rather than consuming foreign, because what makes an economy boom is how money turns in that country. And if money makes palm just enters the Cameroonian hand, and the next thing is out of the country, what happens? We are always suffering in lack. So we have to come to that consciousness. I'm happy that the Millionaire's Mindset has a lot of knowledge there. I'm advising every viewers to read it. I have read it myself, and there's so much knowledge in it. You should read it. We need to take intentional steps to study, to learn, to listen. I mean, it's funny how young women, they know all the names of Filipinos. They switch from one. Sometimes I get so annoyed. They switch from one channel to another. If they're not watching Nigerian film, they are moving to Filipino. They are moving to a Latino and stuff like that. And they're wasting their time. And while watching TV, they intend to make money. How do you balance the two? Knowledge is the background, is the foundation of everything. And when you don't have the knowledge, believe me, somebody who has the knowledge is going to use you. And that's what Africans have been suffering. They don't have the knowledge. And they are not ready to take that step to get out of the noise and actually acquire that required knowledge.
Mr. Teke, how do you understand? You say to invest in Tex Global is something that is very feasible. It's agriculture where you invest in this, and also people could get themselves trained on what it takes to invest. Someone has 5 million francs CFA. He or she takes the 5 million and puts in one network with the intention of getting 2 million in 1 month time. How do we explain this?
Mr. Lilo,
That's capital now.
That's capital. We are two farmers. I am a farmer and Mr. Buji is a farmer. We all have grain seed in our hands. And all of us want these grain seeds to germinate and bear fruits. I take my own, I go to the farm, he takes his, goes to the farm. I dig the soil, I bury my seeds. He digs the soil, he buries his seeds. We all go back and sit home at home. The next day, we're all expecting that this seed should grow. And the next day, we come back to look at it, and Mr. Buji uses his cutlass, dig the stuff, remove the grain, and look, this thing is not growing, what is the problem? I use water and watered mine. And this keeps happening. And Mr. Buji gets angry. I don't understand why this thing is not growing, and probably get angry and just remove the seed. And I keep watering my own. One day, that seed will germinate. And when it germinates, it will grow and bear fruits. Now, the time when I was watering that, nobody saw me. Yeah. I didn't talk to anybody. I bear the pains. But when the grain grows and I harvest the corn, everybody will see me when I've harvested. Now, this is where they get it confused. People think that they can go up to success. We don't go up to success, we grow up to success. Now, the problem is nobody sees them while they were planting the seed. And so, if I call Mr. Buji, come and join me in this my harvest. If you give me all your seed, I'll now give you one stalk of corn. And it's like, oh, that means to make corn, get the stalk of corn is very simple. See, Mr. Teka, I saw him yesterday, now he didn't know what I planted. And so when he gets his stuff and give it to me, and I don't have capacity to manage what he has given to me, that thing will collapse. He loses his money. But I don't, because I already have something I've planted. So we embrace a system of investment in Cameroon between 2016 and 2020, getting to 21, where we think that money can be doubled. That's why I always tell people that Tex Global is not a money doubling company. It is not. That is why whatever it is that we do, you could come to our project site and see what we do. If you read our article of terms and conditions, there's a term that says that from time to time, the company might decide to even reduce the percentage sharing for the sustainability of the company. Because the entire idea is for this company to be sustainable. So people just grab into things. They want to get money by all means, just because they see someone who has worked so hard and is enjoying. If you see me on the street, you think it's easier to get money. Because I look young, I look small. I was like, if this guy can do it, then I can also do it. Let's do my own. I've seen people who copied me. They went to prison. They came out. They copied me. They disappeared and ran out of Cameroon. I've watched them. I've watched from 2017 to 2020. I've watched like 7 companies crumble before me. Why? One person planted and watered and nurtured, and that person just came to harvest what they did not plant. Do we have to succeed? Do we need success? Yes. What are we supposed to do? First thing, you have to plant. You have to take time to plant and nurture your seed until it grows. If the seed grows and have roots, nothing shakes it. What is that root? That's the human capital we're talking about. You gathering information, getting a new set of people around you who can help you, tell you, and show you the way on how to go about it. In my life, the money I have lost, like my 4th generation before me or after me, have not lost that money. I've lost close to 3 billion for business I've done just because I saw the way it was flashy, what you call noise, and I put money inside. The last one that almost took my life in 2017 was the one they call Pay Diamond. I lost close to 300 and something million francs in Pay Diamond. So I learned my lesson and I decided to learn. And thank God I learned on time. So if our Cameroonians can decide to sit down and learn, like Mr. Niba said, see, there's no success in China that cannot be found in Cameroon. There's no success abroad that cannot be found in this country. Those people spend their energy to build their lives in their country and then export it to us. So we see the exported success without knowing the sacrifice they have done. We should sit in our own country, build our own success, make the sacrifices, and export it. We plant tomatoes and export fresh tomatoes abroad, and they send us back chemical tomato paste. We buy it at a higher cost. We have spent a lot of energy to produce a basket of tomato and sell it abroad. Someone buys abroad, produce tomato paste, and sell it at a higher cost for us. What would really cost us, Cameroonians, to sit down, 10 of us that have money, to start up a tomato paste manufacturing company? It will not cost us anything. And we will enjoy everything we want to enjoy. We will have the tomatoes still very fresh and produce the paste. I spoke with one of my friends in Cyprus, and then we're developing something to produce tomatoes powder instead of paste. That's a billion-dollar industry. We will do it in this country. But all we need is our people should understand one thing. Create ideas, build on the ideas, develop the ideas, grow the idea, produce something from the idea, buy the idea, consume the idea. That's what Cameroon is lacking. We have people who have ideas, but our people are not ready to consume their ideas. And so they have no choice than to travel abroad. So Cameroonians have to learn to consume their own homemade product. Now, this is a problem. If a Cameroonian start up a business, this is what the average Cameroonian will say: I'll leave that thing, very soon they will close, I know them. Now, so the thing will fall. So every Cameroonian is looking at you, okay, you think you want to grow. And when the thing falls, they start laughing at you. But if a business abroad falls, people will figure out, why did it fall? They want to support to make sure that this business grows. So we don't have that supportive nature, that collaboration, that we can make it work. So a foreigner brings in a business, and you see a foreigner, I made a statement where I say, to be white does not mean you are right. To be white doesn't mean you are right. And to be black doesn't mean you are wrong.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu and panelists. Please, can I get the billionaire's mindset online in the United Arab Emirates, Abu Dhabi? Thanks.
We have contacts in Dubai. We can always ship it there. So after that, we can tell them how to get it.
Okay. You have the numbers on your screen. Just call. This is Success Ako writing from the United Arab Emirates. Good evening to you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Thierry texting from Douala. I like your program. Most of us youths want to make it big, but our parents prevent us because they think that their decision on our life is the best. That is whenever we come up with good ideas, so they turn it back. So please, Mr. Teke should help me in this. Mr. Teke, how do can you help him?
All right, fine. First thing is when your parents are always getting into the ways of your decision, first thing you have to look at, have you gone to the age of independence officially where you can make decisions for yourself? If you are still a student, then you have to be working underground on what you want to do while you follow your parents, because you have to obey them until when you outgrow that stage where you can stay on your own, you can make decisions for yourself. So even while you are going to see your parents, okay, you have to do study medicine. You don't have to argue with your parents. Be studying the medicine while you are working at the background to do what you feel that's what you are supposed to do,
okay,
what you are convinced for.
Hello, Mr. Liu. I love the topic of today. Most of us were trained to be job seekers instead of job creators. After graduating from universities, the only option is to go hunting for jobs in order to survive in Cameroon. Please ask your panelists. I have a capital of 400K. What can I invest on? Can you just call the number on your screen? Call them after the program. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Good program. My question is, how do we realize the talent embedded in us? Can someone help you identify your talent if you haven't identified one? Can everyone be an entrepreneur? How do we identify our purpose in life? Justice Longang, writing from Idea. Mr. Liu, please, I wish to get the title of the books one of the speaker just referred to us to.
Okay.
The billionaire mindset.
The Billionaire's Mindset. I'm sure I've always had that book. Yeah.
No, I think that is be disrupt or be disrupted. I think
Okay,
Okay, the
disrupt
book-
yourself or be
Disrupt yourself or be disrupted.
Okay.
By Nikki Vet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can actually get it from. She has her site. Yes, nikkivet.com, where it's nikki.africa.
Okay. Now, back to you. We are talking about making money so quick, and I asked him about the environment. Let's take the Cameroonian context, Cameroonian scenario. Should the scenario in Cameroon also spur us to developing our skills by identifying those areas that need urgent servicing? There are many places, unexploited areas in this country. Why not identify them and then build ourselves to be able to provide services in these areas?
Yet it's very important for us to be able to identify the needful areas in our country and be able to build ourselves. The only problem is I used to have a problem when people want to build themselves in an area where they know that they will not be able to excel in. This is it now in terms of the individual. I'm looking at it based on the individual. Let's say, for instance, that I know that by my personal talents, I would use this and then bring us back to some mistakes we make while choosing what to study in the university. Now, by my personal talent, I could be good at playing football, but I discovered that in Mutegene or in Boya or in Tiko or in Yaoundé, hairdressing does a lot. So I decided to get into hairdressing. Now, I'm getting to hairdressing just because I see that it's doing a lot, but I'm not willing to put in much energy in it. So because I'm not willing to put in much energy, I cannot get the same returns that people who are putting a higher energy in that same field are getting. That's one thing that we fail to understand when it concerns our environment. Now, this is the environment, and we discover that these are things that we need in Cameroon. These are areas in Cameroon that people can work on and be able to create wealth or be able to be successful. But now, us as individuals, we don't look for a means to fit ourselves into it. Of course, you can't fit yourself in every aspect in the country. Mr. Teke made mention that he's working. He decided to solve the problem of network marketing. And he has focused on it. That's the need that he realized. Now, this is what we do. It's a very common scenario. It happens in the normal market. So you're selling crayfish. That's what I call it now. You're selling crayfish today. And you hear that dry fish is doing better. You get into dry fish. But nobody is interested in asking the person who was selling dry fish before, that how did you succeed? How did you establish a good business scenario in selling dry fish? Now, let's look at it in terms of relationship with people and the problems that are found in around us in our environment. Now, there are two ways. When you identify a problem in your environment, it's either it's going to help you get more creative and be able to solve it, or it's going to act as a limiting factor to you. But that decision is made only by you. You're the only one who choose on how that particular need you saw in your environment can be able to help you to do anything. It's going to determine if you're going to build more. Now, if I discover that this is where Cameroonians are lacking in, like now in Cameroon, I really thank God so much for what is happening in Cameroon. There's a revival so much when it concerns human capital. In the past years, it was not like this. People could hardly sit and talk about what we're talking like this. Like somebody watching the TV now will change the TV channel. They want to watch something different, entertainment.
You want to watch
movies. But people are getting more interested in human capital because that's a need. And so people are identifying that it's a need and they're working on it. Okay, now Mr. Teke is building a Tex Global. He's building, Tex Global was existing before now. He's building Textidia and all the like. Now, if he had not seen that there's also a need in terms of human capital, I don't think we'll be having Chef Academy existing now. It's because there is a need, and that's what people are yearning for. And because he's providing a solution in that area, people are buying it and they are getting access and paying him while getting the same knowledge he's offering to others. But the same people, some people in this same country, when they see people following human capital, this is what they do. Like a post I saw on Facebook, they call it, there's something that is going on now in Cameroun about motivational speakers. This is something we really have to fight. There is a knowledge that people have when it concerns motivational speakers that I don't know where it stems from. I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, but that is also something that is similar to the networking, because you are motivating people to do something when they cannot see that in you. That is where the problem is.
That's what people feel. Now, this is it. I think that there are different ways. Okay. There are different ways to be able to know if somebody...
Are you saying that if Mr. Teke had not tried his hands in what he's doing now, he would easily convince people?
Okay. I don't know. Okay, Mr. Teke will have to permit me. Let me use example.
Okay.
Before now, okay, when I used to know Mr. Teke right now. I used to know Mr. Teke when I just got to know about Tex Global. Trust me, a lot of things are changing. A lot of things about him is evolving. Now, before now, we used to just know him as Mr. Teke, as in, okay, our boss. Now, we didn't know so much information he used to have because we didn't used to sit with him like this and talk. So you could not know how much information he had. You could only hear him talk about Tex Global and how the business is supposed to grow and how you can get into the business and all that. But at one point in time, we discovered that you are just sitting beside him, something else is coming out. He's saying something else. He will hardly talk about Tex Global, but he's saying something. And in the course of you trying to listen to him, like what we're doing now, he's talking something else and people are asking about the billionaire mindset. But he's not mentioning the billionaire mindset. He's not marketing the billionaire mindset. He's selling something he has in the inside. From within. And now people are seeing the need to have access to resources he has access to. Because they feel, why are they buying the billionaire mindset? Because they feel that it's a contribution, it's a means for them to have access to what he has in his mind. They want to be billionaires.
They want to be billionaires. Mr. Liu. Let me take two messages. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks for putting up such a wonderful show. But somebody wrote from Idea. I'm not sure we've answered him.
If everyone can be an entrepreneur.
Yes, host of others. Good evening, everyone in the studio. I'm Matthias, writing from Yaoundé. I wish to thank you all for your efforts. I think this is going to open up the minds of youths based in Cameroon so that they will believe that they can make it at home. That's a topic for another day. Can we only succeed out there? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm so much in touch with your program. I'm Roland in Bamenda. Please, may I be oriented more on your products, and can it be seen on the screens? Thanks. The billionaire's mindset, I don't know whether we have a soft copy of it. Can we see it there? Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists, especially Mr. Teke. This is Mbele Felix from the gentle slope of Upper Bayang. Mr. Liu, some of us have constructed houses in the forest, and as I'm telling you, we are watching your magnificent program in the forest by the help of a solar system. And that said, please, Mr. Teke, to make most of his handouts available in Manfi so that some of us can get them. In that, being a coordinator of a farming group called Mustard Seed, I intend to always borrow wise words from Mr. Teke's wisdom to prepare my guys with the hope of inviting Mr. Teke to share with us one day. Thanks. God bless you. God bless you too. That is the Cameroon we want now. Yes. We should dare to make things work. Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Jinabo texting from Boya. I want to appreciate Tex Global for their an eye opener. Consuming Cameroon products is what we Cameroonians are lacking in. Just here in Boya, a Boya-based company installed traffic lights, but when you get the criticisms about it, they are so discouraging. So what can really be done to cause us Cameroonians to consume home-based products? Just believe in ourselves. Hey, good evening. I'm called Tema from Bamenda. Your news is really interesting. It's a program. It's not news, please. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Mr. Teke is using what we call the spider web doctrine. He trap wealth in Cameroon, distribute part to Cameroonians. The Asians use this doctrine very well. They don't allow money to leave the community in which they find themselves, and money circulates only amongst them. Alex is writing from Boya. Mr. Teke, can we just answer the person who wrote from a day? I don't know. Should I take his message? Okay, good evening, Mr. Leo. Good program. My question is, how do we realize the talent embedded in us? Can everyone be an entrepreneur? How do we identify our purpose? Yeah.
Okay, this is simple. Yes, everybody can. As a matter of fact, everybody is an entrepreneur. Who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is someone who solves a problem with a profit in mind. So you can be an employee, but you're an entrepreneur. Why am I saying that? If you are working for someone, you're solving a problem for that person. The profit in mind is this man has to pay you at the end of the day. And that is why you have two people who are working. One person is improving more in their work, and another person just relaxed because they're waiting for month-end salary. So everybody is supposed by nature to be an entrepreneur, because everybody is supposed to be a problem solver. Now, how do you identify your purpose? It's simple. First, you look at the things you have flair for, some things you enjoy doing. If you cannot figure that out, you look for a mentor. Look for someone who is doing something that you enjoy. Like last time I traveled, I traveled with one purpose to see one man. There's a man they call Apostle Joshua Selman. Anytime he speaks, there's something that hits my head, and I decided I have to travel to go see him.
I discovered him, I'm sure, December, and I've been listening to him almost every day.
He's powerful. If you listen to him and then stand up and you are normal, it means something is wrong. And I said, I must go and see him. And I have to travel for that purpose. Why? Because I love change. And if you see that kind of person and shake hands with them, I believe there's a transmission, there's something that should be transferred to you. So you look for someone who is in something you admire. Go there and tell them, hey, I love what you do and I want to learn how you do what you do. Put your head under them, serve them for a while. The problem is we don't know how to serve. Everybody that just discover, hey, I know how to play football, they become automatic professional on their own. So how do you discover your purpose? Go and look for someone who is doing what you're doing and serve them. If you cannot see them, then try to figure out by reading books and making research. Look for something you have flair in doing, something you enjoy doing. You can even do it for free without pay. Improve on it and you will discover your purpose. One of the ways you know that this is what I'm supposed to do is that when you start working on it, you discover that you are naturally doing them even when you don't get information from anybody. Like, how do I know that one of my reasons for being on earth is to talk? It's because I don't need to prepare to come and talk. Just tell me today you are talking on this. If I hold the mic, that's when you see the crazy things that will come out of me. Not like I prepared for it, but they just come up like that. So it would be insane for me to say I want to go and play football. I want to go and sing. It doesn't work that way. But give me mic to talk and I will do it. As simple as that.
Okay, but was that the question I asked you?
Yes. And it's for your purpose, and then can anybody be an entrepreneur?
Yes, but now let's look at human capital building.
Okay.
Is it best solo or collective?
It's collective.
Okay.
It's collective because you need both you and people around you to help you do that. you can have the willingness, but you don't have the push. I was trying to say something about this motivational thing. The word motivation is a compound word. You can break it into two and it becomes motive action. So everybody that does motivational speaking should not be what they are saying.
Okay.
So there's a difference between an inspirational speaker and a motivational speaker.
Okay.
A motivational speaker might be by nature a public speaker, a teacher. For example, you can have students who are richer than their lecturers, than their teachers. That doesn't mean that you sit the class and say, hey, you don't have money, so you cannot teach me. Their profession is to teach and go their way. A motivational speaker's profession is to come and motivate you. What is his motive for taking the action? His motive is to make you feel like you can do it. What is your motive for being motivated? Is that you want to learn what they have learned and take an action to it. So any motivation that does not have the purpose of an action, that's when it becomes futile. So if you look at them and the way they're talking and say, do you have these things you're saying? You end up killing yourself. Learn, get the information, and then go and act it. Whether they're acting it or not is their business. Tomorrow, it should be a testimony for you that I heard him spoke, and this is what came out of what he has said. Just like a pastor. Pastors come and preach, they are broke. Some of them don't have money. But the members that listen to what they have said sometimes become richer than the pastors. Yes. Look, most pastors are broke.
You said something concerning motivation.
Okay.
You say if you motivate an idiot, what do you have? A motivated idiot. You understand? So before you seek motivation, you need to have something
that have to motivate.
You have to motivate you for. You want to go and play football, let them motivate you.
That's why I have a concern about the new trend in Cameroon right now, where you have a lot of people attending seminars and trainings, and their major motivation is a certificate they give them.
Yeah.
And that is my problem.
To go and get a job again.
Yes.
No,
So,
no,
they don't want to get a job. They just want to buy. I talked with someone and he said, and he spoke. I was so mad at this guy.
You have those certificates that when there is an opportunity, you should prove that you've received trainings in this.
Yes, especially when they tell them that this certificate is accepted in 50 countries. You will see them paying money just to sit down. Some of them don't even learn. How do you make someone a professional in one day? One day you sit people down and you give them 4 professional certificates. And they come out, they celebrate on social media, they snap pictures with their suit, but go back home, they are broke. You cannot make a professional in one day. It requires, it's professional. It requires a time of
a
training,
building process.
A building process. But you sit them in one hall, one day, teach them, give them certificate, and they go home celebrating. You cannot get.
And the learning process ends there.
It ends there. You cannot get anything tangible from those kind of people. They will need to beg. So we have to take our time, figure out what is the motive of the actions we take.
Okay. Hello. Good evening once again, and to the panelists. One of the key factors to build our capital for a successful life is to think big, and we shouldn't focus so much on what we read in school. We should equally broaden our scope of thinking. We should see life beyond the local communities we find ourselves, seek knowledge in various domains of life, and implementing them. Good evening to you. Francis from Bamenda says, good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm enjoying the program from Bamenda. Mr. Teke, I have developed a tomato formula with beetroot, and I need sponsors. Can you help me? Thanks very much for the great work you guys are doing. Huh?
Let him get to that number.
Okay.
I think we are most interested in people that have products.
Okay. So, Mr. Francis from Bamenda, can you just call Mr. Teke through the numbers on your screen? Good evening, Mr. Liu. Is Sumbele Kelvin writing from Kongsamba. Quite interesting program and good topic and good panelists. I really want to understand if human capital can be acquired without financial cash in the pocket.
Of course it can. It can, and that's why we have free programs like last Saturday we did a free training money management program in Boya. Those are the kind of programs you attend, you build yourself, because if you build your mind, that is the entire capital you need for your life for success.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Liu. I'm Julius writing from Mato Village. I'm following your program on Facebook since there's no lights here. I really love the program. Thank you very much. I think Eneo should do something now. Yes, Eneo should do something for our brothers out there. The educational system in Cameroon doesn't train young people to build human capital. To build human capital, you need to believe in yourself and be yourself. Dontong Davids is writing from Menda. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and everyone in the house, especially Mr. Buji. I'm really enjoying the program. I'm Pride, writing from Dop. Good evening, sir. I'm Kingsley from Bamenda. Mr. Teka, I need that your book, but please answer my question. Are you a billionaire yourself? Hello, good evening. Proud to see my classmate doing it big on the grand stage. Keep it up, bro, and make BHS Kumba proud. Ifanga Rudolph from Limit. Who went to BHS Kumba yet?
I did.
Okay. Please, if you need a billionaire's mindset, call the numbers on your screen. You're going to be given one. Good evening, Mr. Liu, watching from Simbok in Yaoundé. I'm enjoying the program. Madame Rose, good evening to you. Madame Rose, can you answer him? He's asking whether you're a billionaire.
Well, that question always comes, and there's something I always say, if you know me, you won't ask that question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like answering that. If you truly know me, you won't ask the question. One time someone said something about I've got into my million. I told the person, I think I've crossed the level of million Cfa. So anybody that know me will not ask me the question, are you a billionaire? I think I have answered that question.
Okay. Yes, he's not talking what he's not there. You better believe what he says. But there is the Audacity of Success. Is it a seminar, a workshop that is coming up? I want us to talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
We are going to have 3 persons.
Yeah.
We have Mike Godson. He is an actor and entrepreneur from Nigeria.
Yeah.
We have Teke Samuel, author, billionaire's mindset, and Professor Ernest Amolwa, who is the registrar of the University of Boya, is equally going to be there. And there we are talking about featuring economic audacity, spiritual audacity, and social audacity. Highlight how to exchange ideas for money. Those are the things that are going to be discussed there. Exchange ideas for money. What are we talking about here?
Okay, talking about exchanging ideas for money. People buy ideas. They don't buy words. They buy what can come out from here because it's ideas that generate products and services.
Okay.
And people pay money for products and services. So a lot of us don't know how to. Now, so many people generate ideas, but not profitable ideas.
Okay.
So during this program, we're going to be helping you on how to better place your mind in such a way that you can be able to generate ideas, not just ideas, but profitable ideas. And when you have these ideas, it's not enough. You have to add so much value to it that people will be willing to pay money in exchange for that idea. And so people are going to be learning. We have so many young people in the country now coming up with mind-blowing ideas. So during that program, they are going to learn how to convert these ideas to how to monetize. Let me use this word, how to monetize these ideas, to put in a position where people are able to exchange money for these ideas. So it's going to be mind-blowing. This particular first activities are taking place at the Audacity of Success. It's very important, the aspect of ideas. If any person that has read the Billionaire Mindset will understand so much what ideas have to do when it concerns world creation. So what we're going to be talking more on is how to better place you, because it's more of the information you have. It's more of the mindset you have, the mindset that you have. Someone said that your mindset will determine your life set. So you're going to get so much information from these mind-blowing people. As I got on our person's status when she was advertising this program, that I thought we had just one well we're supposed to be drinking from, because from the onset everybody knew it was Mr. Teke Samuel alone who had to talk in this program. And when they got to hear that my godson was coming and the registrar, Professor Ernest Molu, I think people will be seeing him in a different capacity on that day.
Can we listen to this?
Yeah.
Excited, I'll be attending the Audacity of Success event happening on the 10th of April in Douala, Cameroon. I am very delighted and very honored to be given the opportunity to speak with the youths of Cameroon, engaging them in a beautiful interactive section. The goal is to impart knowledge and share my ideas about my journey as an actor and a businessman. I want you to attend, come together, and let's make it a beautiful experience. And I also like to shake hands with you. So see you there. God bless. Bye.
Okay. Yes, that's April the 10th. So there we are going to be told on how to exchange ideas, you see, profitably. Yes, not wasteful ideas. Now it's also going to be a session where we discuss how to be a sellable commodity in the 21st century economy.
Yes, when you talk about sales, I love sales because whatever you have that you don't sell, you cannot make money. And if you actually want to be rich, you need to be selling something. If you want to become a billionaire, you have to be selling something, because I don't know any billionaire who has made it without selling something. Even Dangote sells salt, he sells sugar, he sells cement. You have Mark Zuckerberg is selling something. Anytime you log into Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg is selling something. By extension, MTN is selling something, because you activate data before you can have access to Facebook, though we say it's free. And by the time you're doing that, the government is also making money, because these companies that provide us with internet services also pay taxes. Then, if you're getting to the internet, what are you selling there? You need to know, how do you sell yourself? Because I always tell people that anything you see me put on the internet, I'm selling it. I don't go on social media to go and watch fun time, to go and make noise. No, I am objective about why I am on the internet. So in this program, you're going to actually learn how you can sell yourself, how you can sell your business, how you can sell an idea. Because after generating these ideas, you need to sell them. You need to make them to be known. No matter how wonderful an idea is, you need to be capable to expose it. And the most important person behind an idea is what? You. Is you. You need to sell yourself. And in fact, this program is going to build you to a stage where you cannot be ignored in the society. So if you attain Audacity of Success, just know people will be calling you after. That is an assurance, because your life cannot remain the same after attaining Audacity of Success. Just the pre-events that we did in Boya, we're already having testimonies from it. People's lives have been transformed. That was a free event, by the way. Then I can imagine Audacity of Success, where you will have the author of the Billionaire Mindset, Mr. Teke himself. In fact, if you know him, he doesn't talk. Whenever a word comes out from his mouth, you need to take it and definitely analyze that. You can even monetize it. He has gone a long way to bring another powerful speaker who is an agripreneur too. That's Mike Godson. We see him. That also tells you the sacrifice behind the program, and it's about showing the love that we have for Cameroonians. We have Professor Muloa, who is, in fact, I've watched him speak. I watched him speak during the International Leaders Summit organized by U Square in Boya. In fact, he inspired me so much. He made sure that he made me to actually solidify my decision that I can make it in this country without definitely going out. So this is a program that is a must-attend program. If you say you want to succeed, then you have to do everything that it takes to get there. If you don't know how to get there, I'll personally advise you get to me. Let me actually advise you on how to get there.
Okay. Now, the seminar is also going to feature techniques in partnership and business relations. Very capital for success.
Yes, I want to say that what is causing the business million Cameroon not to really grow is because everybody wants to go solo. Okay. People don't like. I mean, people partnerships. People have not understood that the new competition is partnership. Sure. And that's why we are struggling a lot, because everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to be seen like that person in front. Nobody wants to be behind and contribute his ideas or his knowledge so that idea can actually succeed. Which is what I'm promising, or I'm urging our viewers to actually come for this event, because it's going to give you that value, that knowledge that you should understand how it will be beneficial when we come to partnership. Because, mind you, it is somehow like a culture. When a business is running, instead of us thinking of how we can come together and support that idea so that it can sustain, we are sitting by and waiting to blow whistles when it collapses. I mean, I think the media is playing a role in doing this. If you see businesses that fall, they shout about it. I don't think they are doing so much for the population. But for them for a successful business to come online or to come live like this on TV, they need to pay money. But when the business collapses, it doesn't need any money. They blow all the whistles. Everybody is. I mean, there's something lacking somewhere. But I think we are coming to the awareness of that, and that's why Audacity of Success is here to actually make us understand that for us to succeed, we need to come together. I mean, I think somewhere in the Bible, people actually decided to be a tower to go see where God is, and God noticed that, hey, if I don't do something about these guys will actually come, they'll succeed. But and when he changed the language, he made sure that they were speaking different languages, they could not succeed. So if we can be able to speak the same language, speak from one angle, irrespective of our differences, come together, build relationships, build partnerships, I mean, we become unstoppable. But when we go solo, mind you, we cannot be able to withstand multinationals.
Sure,
they have built momentum from their base, and they are extending here with the full capacity. They have the human resource, they have the capital to sustain in foreign lands. And you, like an individual, you want to stand up and face and beat them in the market. That is totally impossible. So I'm urging Cameroonians who are watching us right now to slow down, think twice, be able to build that character that will permit them to relate with and partner with other Cameroonians, so that we can actually forge ahead. Because one thing that is actually stopping Cameroonians from building partnership is this aspect of trust. Trust is a big problem within Cameroonians, and it's actually causing a huge problem with the diaspora, because diaspora is really, I mean, the diasporans are really ready to invest in Cameroon, but I'll show you that the experience that most of them have had is not the best. Either their money has been swindled by their friends back at home, their money has been swindled by family members, maybe people who have pretended to be their partners have actually swindled their money, and it's really causing a problem to the Cameroonian economy. That's why Audacity of Success is the right platform where you should come and learn and understand what you need to do to be able to collaborate, to partner with other Cameroonians, so that we can actually foster the economy of Cameroon.
Okay, Mr. Teke, this one says, Mr. Liu, please, is it not possible for Mr. Teke to create an educational institution from the primary level right to the university, which can build young entrepreneurs, at least the first institution in Cameroon that specializes in one thing? So that some of our kids can be enrolled into such an institution. Mbele Felix writing from Upper Bayang. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and all those in the studio. I love the program, especially with the voice of my teacher, Mr. Buji. I'm Alain, watching from DOP. Now, it is also going to be an opportunity to teach on how to manifest a monopolistic tendency. How does that operate?
All right, so that has a relationship with what he was talking about. That is the partnership and collaboration. You see, if we can all come together to build a particular system, we will simply automatically buy monopoly of that product, because the competition, the negative competition tendency is going to die a natural death. And so every one of us will work with one competitive spirit, which is to collaborate. And when we all collaborate, there will nobody who wants to fight what he wants to do. Just like this old parable that says, if you take a broomstick, it's easier to break. But if you put the entire sticks together to form one bundle, it's difficult to break it. So how do we operate on that monopolistic tendency is when we decide to go on a conscious partnership with one another. Look at a particular system that is running very well, and then people that are in line with that particular system come together. Let's build this thing. What is there for me? What is there for you? What is there for you? We make all of this, put it on the table, put it in writing. You have 10%, I have 20%, I have 10%, I have 50%. All of us distribute it. Now let's run this business and see how far it will go. So the problem is, everyone first of all have to decide to be morally right, and that's one of the things we want to teach at the Audacity of Success. This moral standing that if you do business with someone, nobody thinks about cheating. It's called fraternity. That's where the word courtesan came from. When brothers came together and said, we are going to have each other's back for the purpose of protecting one another. Until it got to a point where the thing started getting spoiled, where killing came in. But the original intention for fraternity or courtesan was to protect one another, was to form a union of people who can protect one another. So can we come together and say, okay, everybody who is into agriculture will build one empire and grow the agri sector in Cameroon with one intention to ensure that everybody into the agri sector benefits. Few persons come together and they grow the business. If we do that, we have bought monopoly. And every other, both foreign and domestic business that's coming in, cannot compete with that union of people who have decided to build a strong force. So that's where the monopolistic tendency comes in. When partnership is in place, then monopoly is something to achieve easily, without stress.
Okay. Few messages. Good evening to everyone in the studio. My name is Kmer Brandon. I am writing from Boya. This question is to Mr. Teke. So, how did you invest your money while in secondary school?
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Kum. I love the program. How I wish. Okay, Boni is writing from Muya. Good evening to you, Boni. Is your boy Pap? Okay, P for P. If this program keep on without this TV channel closed, I can have in mind that this country will reach a high standard of living from the mind into real life. I appreciate you all. It's very, very educative. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love this program. Greetings to the ambassador on your right. Okay, he got it. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Is Ngwente Sylvester writing from Kumba. My problem is government has helped to kill and discourage many young Cameroonians through high taxes or feel reluctant to sponsor their ideas. No matter what we do in Cameroon, if the government does not make the environment good, then we will find difficult to grow. You open your small boutique store and call box. Taxation will come, price control will come, council will come. How can we do all of this? Okay. No, I got that one already. Good evening, Mr. Liu. So thanks for this program. It has really changed my way of thinking. Enongene Peter writing from Pendamboko. Good evening to you, to the crew. Mr. Teka, admire your program, but my problem is capital. Ache is writing from Yaoundé. Now, some people think that the issue is the government, others think that the issue is capital.
Okay. None of them is the issue.
Okay.
The government can never be anybody's problem. Okay. So this is my thinking. We are the government. The people is the government. So it is high time we started removing our mind from what the selected few who manages the affairs of this country do in Yaoundé. If we remove our mind from where they are, concentrate on what we are doing. What pays tax is money. Mm-hmm. If we do our business very well, we will have the money to pay the tax. And truth be told, Cameroon is one country that is very flexible. Mm-hmm. I think this is not too right, but it's very flexible. You can actually do certain things. It's true that we have taxes everywhere. The kind of tax they pay in Dubai, they don't pay it in Cameroon. The way they pay taxes in Dubai, they don't pay it in Cameroon. So, but people still go about doing their business, and they even say cheaper in Dubai than they say in Cameroon. So what are we supposed to do? Let's take the government. If we have to grow and better our lives, let's take the government out of our thoughts. Let's assume that is their own business they are doing, and they are running their own business to make their profit. And let us also run our own business to make our profit and see how it goes. So let's assume that our clients pay tax to us, and we are the government's client. We too should pay tax to them. Then run our business with all the energy we have. We will still grow and will beat the tax law. As simple as it is. Capital can never be a problem. Capital should not be a problem. This is how I always say it. If you have a profitable business, profitable idea, what you need is not capital. What you need is partnership. There are people, 1,001 people in this country who have money to invest in businesses. So find the right circle. Discuss your business ideas with them. If it is profitable, share the profit and share the percentage of shares and see if they will not invest in your business. Most people have things they just have in their head. They just think that if I say this thing is going to work. Like someone met me and said he's into agriculture and he sells fish. And he explained to me all how he can run a pond, and at the end of the day, he gave me a budget of 280 million to run a fish pond. That's my sector. I know what is involved to actually start up a fish pond. And I told him, you cannot start a business with 280 million. You're starting. So what are you supposed to do? Break it into bits. So if you are planning to start 100 ponds, what will happen if you start 10 ponds? How much will it cost you? What if you start 5 ponds? How much will it cost you? Get a smaller amount that someone can even decide to let go. And then start from the cost. You have to grow in your business. You don't just put up 280 million and then project. This is what he did. He projected a profit of 500 million and gave me 80% of the profit. Now, if I was gullible, if I didn't know business, I would have accepted such an offer. And that wouldn't work. So you put your business in place. Learn how to prepare your business proposals. Meet an investor. Discuss it with the investor. Show them the possibility of how this business can be visible. Because every investor knows the points to hit to be sure that this business is visible. So if you don't have capital for your ideas, it's either you're not pitching your business correctly or the business is not profitable. That, like Miss Lona talked about profitable ideas. Productive ideas. There are some ideas that are not productive, number one. Number two, there are ideas that are not supposed to be in the environment where you are. This is how I say it. If you create an idea, ask yourself, is this idea within the context of the civilization? That is, let's say today I have an idea to produce Pampers, baby diapers. And a marvelous idea, it has a lot of money. If I bring it, if this were to be a country or a community, and I bring it here, who will buy it? Nobody uses baby diapers here among these people. So will it be that the idea is wrong? No, it's a profitable idea, but it is not within the context of this civilization. And that is what the average Cameroonian does not get. They produce ideas that nobody is buying. They try to solve problems that they provide solution for a problem that nobody has a problem. So when you produce an idea, figure out, can the people in this nation buy it? Can the people in this community buy it? If yes, then go ahead and sell. If no, find out who is in need of your product. If you can get a person that is in need of your product, then you get partners for your product. Capital will never be a problem. It has not been a problem. We started Tex Global without capital. I lost all the money I had. As of 2018, the only money we had as Tex Global was 90,000. But that money today, the person that was running my account is no longer working in that bank, saw me one day and was telling some guys, he said, I knew this man. I gave him my car as collateral. He gave me 3 million on credit. I used the money, gave someone to run a business. The person ran away with the money to Malabo and never came again. I was paying interest and I was seeing the man driving my car with his friends. They were greeting me in my own car and I was checking. I had 90,000 as September 2018. I never cried for capital. I did what I had to do. And I got partners into our business, and this is where we are today. 5 companies have generated from a business of 90,000. Very soon, by end of this month, we are starting up Tex Global Kitchen. We're going to run a restaurant in big style that everybody that comes to Buya, we are of Tex Global's Kitchen. You come there and eat good food. That's another business added to what we do in Tex.
Okay, greetings to you all. I'm a physical person on wheelchair. When people see me, even for the first time, they just say I'm a great guy. So I want to know if greatness is being seen on the face. Hello, I'm with Lewis from Bamenda, but my friends call me the future senator. I enjoy your program. Councillor Lewis, good evening to you, great guy. I also call you great guy. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love the program. Greetings to Ambassador. Is Richard from Oku. This is the same question I have been asking myself, but I could not get for myself a better answer. I'm just joining now, and I hope I will have the good answer to my doubt at the end of the program. I love the program. What is your question? Richard writing from Oku. I did not get your question. Just send your question, and I'm sure Miss L is going to answer it. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm writing from Yaoundé. It's high time for the government of Cameroon to encourage Mr. Teke's program so many Cameroonians can benefit from it. My name is Kwanui Hans. Good evening to you. Kwanui Hans. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Okay, Richard, I got your message already. Good evening. I'm enjoying your program. I wish to ask Mr. Teke that if someone have a capital, can he advise the type of business that the person can start up with? Yes, I am Mr. Yannick writing from Lime. Just call the numbers and they will help you out. Good evening, sir. I'm enjoying your program. Thank you very much. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and to everyone in the studio. I love this program. Gracious Grace writing from Yaoundé. Gracious Grace, good evening to you, and to all of you writing from out there. Now, the audacity of success, the quality of personalities, is it affordable?
Yes.
You are bringing somebody from Nigeria, surely you are going to be spending so much money, and people may have to pay so much money to not to be able to listen.
Not so much money.
Okay.
Not so much money. I think not because I work for Mr. Teke, not because I work for him, but I think that he's one person I've seen that is investing so much in human capital, with more going out from him and less coming in. Okay. I'm saying so because we're part of the team working with him. This program, the cost that is already running on this program, you've already mentioned that we're bringing my Godson from Nigeria. There's a lot that is already at stake here when it concerns finances. But looking at a program like this, in other countries, you pay in thousands of dollars. And Mr. Teke pops up and says the program is 25,000. And while we're already communicating 25,000, he says one day that, okay, 15,000. Give a discount to people from this time to this time, they're paying 15,000. To make everybody, 25,000 is a figure that goes to the low, the average, and to the high class. I think everybody can afford 15,000 and couple the 25,000 rather, and couple the fact that we're using a whole month to talk about the program. The program is right in April. Any person who is wise enough will be able to meet up. I think I got a call today from somebody. He's paying right from Ekondo Titi. He called and said he's traveling down in the month of April for this program, and it's a pastor that he saw the flyer and he has decided to attend this program because they want to empower his Christians. See somebody taking that bold step, and to tell you that he's really willing. The only thing he told me was, since he does not have so much money, he was asking, can I send 10,000 francs ma, so that I'll just secure my spot? Then what I'll do is that before I travel down to the southwest, I'm going to send the balance of the fee.
Is in southwest.
To Douala rather, to the littoral. That before he travels to Douala, he'll be able to make a complete payment. Now these are people who are daring. Right? Imagine the cost of transportation from Ekondo Titi to and fro is more than what
with the context of what we live now. Yeah.
It's more than what he's even paying for the program. So this program is very affordable for everybody. I've not had any person telling us that the program is not affordable or it's too expensive for them. Even Money Mastery, that we thought that the price was too high for Cameroonians, people attended and they paid with no discount. So whoever has been following us from the beginning of this session will understand you're already getting a mastery of the importance of human capital development. Okay. And so you should not miss out on this.
Good evening in the house to you all guys, and a blessed weekend filled with God's guidance and protection as you guys do your best to educate Cameroonians to better their lives with the educative program going on. I've learned a lot from the program this evening. May the Almighty God continue to guide and protect you guys in all you do to help the young suffering Cameroonians. From Clifford Tabifor, writing from Limbe. Good evening to you. I really enjoy the program, and enjoy the program and appreciate your efforts to educate Cameroonians on business. It's my first time watching the program, and I will want to follow it up all the time. Please, I wish to know which days and time for the program Prime are on my media Prime. I am Franco Daniel, writing from Douala. Franco, it's every day from Monday to Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So that is the time. Now, experience sharing from those who have dared and are successful in life. We know that he says the persons he knew as a child, as a billionaire, are the same persons reigning. Is that not what we have not had in the past, where we think that, okay, that man a rich man, actually young man, but nobody knows how they made it. Yes, sure.
Yes, actually, about a year ago, a friend and I carried out a research on the people we know who are rich around us, who have passed away. Kaji de Foso, this man of Bamenda Bayong, and a host of others, and we discovered that
Foso
Victor, they did not document their journey. That's the wealth they accumulated showed that they did something that actually necessitated that young people should learn from them. But there's no trace, there's no information that we can actually tap from, which is a big problem. I mean, I think if we are living a better life today, it's because people who lived yesterday did something and they actually left the stage better, and we are stepping from there to move ahead. But if we don't have people who have succeeded to inspire us, we see success far-fetched, and we don't even dream to go there. We don't even see it something feasible. That's why one of the prerequisites to succeed is that you should get closer to those that you think that they are already thriving in the field in which you seek to endeavor, because it inspires you. Because if you want to learn from your own mistakes, it's going to take a longer time. But if already people have made mistakes and they have succeeded, I mean, they can give you tips that it's going to make it easier from you. But I don't want that we should sit and say, no, people they are not giving us ideas and so we can't succeed. It takes you as an individual to take that responsibility, to start seeking, because that's something that I did. Though I can't say I'm successful yet, but with every indication, with every zeal in me, I'm going to. I can't be broke. I can't be broke. Why? Why? Because initially, I was in my own world, like any average Cameroonian. I had the opportunity to go have jobs here and there without actually applying. Yes, I was comfortable until one time something struck me, and I was like, it was like I was moved from one world to another, and I started hustling. I started asking questions. I started seeing people around, people like Javni Joybet. I started reading from them on social media. I was like, what's happening? This guy is even younger than me. Look at what he's doing. I started seeking. I mean, I went to Boya. He was to attend an event. I secretly went to Boya to see him there. He was to speak there, and he did not go. I traveled to go there. I did not see him. I was very disappointed, but I did not give up. I kept following until he had to speak in an event in Douala, and I went there purposely to see him. And when I saw him, what did I say? Guy, see, ton pied, mon pied. You understand? And obviously, there's no Jamni Joybe today without seeing Paul around, because we are doing a lot already. Don't sit and say, somebody, go out for it. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Go out for it.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm enjoying the program. It has really inspired me. Greetings to you all in the studio. Mibel is writing from Kumbu out there. Okay, good evening to you, Mibel. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm having tons and tons of cocoa in my area, but there is no way to transport them in town. Please, can Mr. Teke be in need of my products? I'm Sakwe, writing from Lukando. Thanks. Can you just call Mr. Teke out there? The problem is, with our institutions now, we have professors, doctors who are presenting theories of economic theories from the West. Was it not their place to go to the bar guarantees, to the Bayongs, and the Futsus, the Kadris, to also talk to them and then come up with new concepts, theories, defining how these things work out here?
That's the absolute truth, because it takes us back to the issue that we've actually exported all our trust. Imagine you are here, you're doing your PhD thesis in not even in your environment. You're studying how things go in the US, Japan. How is that going to be relevant to us here? So it's about what we do here that will impact us. Let me just put this back here. There was a time I was discussing with Mr. Teke about a situation in the country. Like, he's asking the question that, how do companies make a lot from us and we end up having people who are in need we have people like, we have IDPs, we have orphans around us, and they don't look at them from that, they don't look at these people. Then he said, but us, that this is what he wants us to do at Tex Global. Tex Global should not ignore these people. And if Tex Global, that's why he needs the support of Cameroonians, so that we can be able to help the people around us. And I'm very happy that just within a short period of time, these things started manifesting.
Yeah.
We visited, I said I was with Mr. Neighbor Paul. We visited IDPs, we visited orphans. And in fact, you need to see the happiness. That one for me, that was my first experience actually doing that.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Reading from Bamenda, the program is so inspiring. Please, I didn't quite get the registration. Is it 15,000 or 25,000 francs?
Okay, the registration is actually 25,000 francs. But like I said, Mr. Teke announced a discount. So the discount will be ending on the 15th of this month. That's few days. Yes, so in a few days time. But you're going to pay 15,000 instead of 25,000. So any person paying in between now and the 15th, it's paying 15,000 francs. And the flyers have the mobile money number. So when you pay, you have to send us a proof of payment and your full names.
Okay. Good evening to you all in the house. I really enjoy your program this evening. It is so educative. Keep it up. Sidonie is writing from Noni. Please, I would like to get Mr. Teke's contact because he have a lot I can learn from. Thanks. We Lewis again, writing from Bamenda, Councillor Lewis. The numbers are on the screen. Can you just get it from there? Good evening, Mr. Liu, and all your panelists on board. I have this problem to present to Mr. Teke. I needed 200,000 francs to start a business. I had 20,000, started the business, and now the demand from my customers is very high and my supply is very low. What should I do? In this case, Mr. SK writing from Bamenda. I'm sure Mr. Teke will answer you shortly. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the great panelists. I'm enjoying the program. Can't have enough of Mr. Teke. He's just a full package. Being a current student at SHEP has changed my life a lot, and this program is not one to miss. Oneke is writing from Limbe. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm Emmanuel from Limbe. Honestly, I'm grateful for this particular topic. I'm positive it's going to be a great source of inspiration and enlightenment for youths in this country. I just wish to ask how you maintain consistency in business despite difficulties and obvious failures. My question goes to Mr. Teke. My regards to you all. Okay, is going to answer you. Good evening, Mr. Liu. And I'm writing from Yaoundé. This question goes to Mr. Teke. How can Cameroonians get in touch with this lovely program? I don't know.
Yeah, that's success.
Okay, the audacity of success. Good evening. How can I build capital for success in life? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm writing from Limbe. I'm Danielita. I love your program. Thank you very much. Good evening, sir. Cameroon government wants people to solve this Anglophone crisis. It don't too much. We know the sun all day, them know the ear anything. Okay, I'm writing from Bamisi. Yes.
All right.
We talk every day.
So where do I start from now?
I don't know from anywhere.
Okay. So firstly, I really want to say I want to give a promo to everybody now. So let's start doing the good things we are doing. Okay. So anybody that is registering for the Audacity of Success between now and Sunday, today is Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Between now and Sunday, they're going to have their discount number one, and I'm going to give them the Billionaire Mindset for free. The book is 5,000. I'm going to give them. So I'm looking for the first 50 persons registered between now and Sunday. They will have the Billionaire Mindset. So if your registration, you're paying your money between now and Sunday, just pay and then indicate. So between now and Sunday, you will have the Billionaire Mindset for free. So imagine if 50 persons are registering, it's 5,000 per copy. I'm going to give all of that for free for anybody that registers Audacity of Success between now and Sunday. So that's the gift I want to give everyone.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. I love your program. More grace. Mary is writing from Libe. Good evening to you, Mary. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Your topic are always educative and very enriching. Kudos to all the panelists. Thanks for being there for us. Daisy writing from Kumba. Daisy, it's been long. Good evening to you. This I wish to know. I wish to know more. I don't know what you want to know more. Just call the numbers on your screen, and you are going to know more. And we have to. And at this juncture, we've taken more than our our time. I want to thank you for coming, the ambassador.
Yes. What I can say at this point is that the stage is set. The 10th is the date. Come and be empowered. The thing you've gotten from Mr. Teketiko is just a tips of the iceberg as far as he is concerned. I urge you to come. Don't come alone. Come with your neighbor. Come with your enemies. Come with your friends, and you obviously be empowered. Thank you so much. Let's keep building the country that we want to see. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you too for coming.
All right.
Mr.
So
Teke.
I think because the person that has 200 once has 20,000 start a business. So it's very simple. If you start running your business with 20,000, now you have more demand. It's simple. You bought that product from someone. You can negotiate with your supplier to give you product to make supply and then pay them. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, sir. It's time for us to dare to succeed. So we're waiting for your registration. 10th of April is the date and Douala is the place. You should not miss out on this. You should not miss out on this program.
Okay.
I'm just encouraging you there.
Mr. Buji, thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. If you are watching us, the only destination is Audacity of Success on the 10th of April in Douala, Cameroon.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo Francis from Yaoundé. Interesting program, learning so much. Thanks very much. Also, thank you. Let me take 2 last messages and we call it a day. Good evening, Mr. Leo. I'm enjoying this program. I'm Sama writing from Tico. Greetings to you all in the house. Love the program. So educating. I'm gaining a lot from Eunice writing from Kumba. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Van from Bamenda. I really enjoy the program this evening. So I wish to ask how can I build capital for a successful life? Just call the numbers. They will direct you on how to do that. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I'm writing from Limbe. Okay. Thank you all. You got the information from Mr. Teke. If you want a billionaire's mindset for free, just call them and get registered to be part of this program. And to say thank you to the production team, Desmond and Eli, and to you, Bertrand and Noel. Thank you to Tabi Tambe Bryant, supervising our work out here. Not forgetting you, Didi Banderas out there in Kumba, chief town of Meme Division. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.